How many games will the Arizona Cardinals win in 2024? What's going on, Cards fans? It's your boy Mayo Jones here, and we back at it with another NFL record prediction. And this time, we'll be doing our NFL record prediction for for the Arizona Cardinals for the 2024 NFL season. We're gonna get started here. I'm gonna give you a question on the Cardinals. My question is: can the Cardinals be good? Can they survive to be a sneaky good team? Will they make the playoffs? I feel like the Cardinals are a team where I think they're gonna surprise some people. So we're gonna go through it. So So before I give you my recommendation for the Arizona Cardinals for the 2024 NFL season, don't forget, put the thumbs up to like the video, subscribe to my channel for more options, and comment down your opinion below to see how good you think the Cardinals will be. Do you think the Cardinals are going to take a step forward this year and make the playoffs, or you think they're going to suck again and miss the playoffs? Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. So basically, this is the last NFL record prediction that I will be predicting. Is for the 2024 NFL season. So we're going to get started here. So week one, they kick it off with the Buffalo Bills. This should be a fun game to watch, but I feel like this could be a shootout and a high scoring game. Both high flying offenses playing against each other. Now, I feel like some teams might not be prepared to play the Cardinals because of the explosiveness on offense they provide. But when you look at the Cardinals, I feel like they kind of have more weapons than the Bills. They got a good tight end in Trey McBride, a good receiver in Marvin Harrison Jr. They got other playmakers like Greg Dortch, Michael Wilson. Even they added Zay Jones. James Conner is a stud at running back. So they got a lot of players on offense that are really good. The offensive line has improved, but both their defenses of the Bills can be a little sketchy. I provide the Bills defense is a lot better than the Cardinals, in my opinion, in terms of, the play call on defense. And Sean McDermott is an excellent defensive play caller. I think he's going to do a good job game playing Kyler Murray in this game. But, you know, the Bills, have a really good defense, but I don't think it's great. I think the game should be fun. It will be close, but I'm leaning towards Buffalo because the Bills are at home. They got the better quarterback. They got the better coaching staff. They're the more complete team overall. And I feel like the Bills Mafia is gonna be loaded. It's gonna be busting. There's gonna be a lot of fans there because it's the home opener of Buffalo. And I just kind of really feel like Josh Allen is an animal. I have a feeling he can. I feel like Josh Allen is just going to be too much for the Cardinals defense to handle because he can run, he can throw a lot, and even though Josh Allen doesn't have a lot of weapons, it doesn't have a lot of good weapons on offense. I think he can definitely take advantage of a Cardinal secondary that's not good, which is the least talented in NFL, and they don't have a great pass rush to get after Allen or stop their running game. I think James Cook can have a good game. Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox can have a good game. I think Keon Coleman. I feel like he might look good in day one. We'll see. They got other weapons that can attack him. So yeah, I think the Bills, win that game at home, but it should be a close one and it should be fun to watch. Then week two against the Los Angeles Rams. Obviously, this is a game that can definitely go either way, but I understand the Rams pretty much own the Cardinals, but I think the Cardinals will get their first win at home against the Rams. I just have a feeling that, Kyler Murray, the Cardinals really play well against the Rams a lot. I feel like Kyler Murray can make some magic happen in LA. I think they can run the ball in the Rams, given that, the Rams' defensive line is not great, and plus they're young. So I feel like the Cardinals can run the ball on them, which they don't have to deal since the Rams don't got no more Aaron Donald anymore, so I don't have to deal with that. I think, despite the Rams secondary being improved, I think the Cardinals, can attack them, especially with the weapons they have. They can win their one-on-one matchup on there. So yeah, I think they can control the game on offense and all that, and they can keep Matt Stafford off the field. So yeah, I think the Cardinals win that game at home. Week 3 versus the Lions. This is a game that can go either way. I could lead towards the Cardinals win this game because the Lions really struggle against mobile quarterbacks. It's because of them running really fast. And I feel like the Lions defense can definitely struggle with him, especially on the Cardinals offense. Now, the one thing that concerns about the Lions is they're bad against the pass, and they did improve their secondary enough, which they can slow down the Cardinals receivers. And so, yeah, I think Kyler can give him Kyler can give him a challenge there, but I think the game will be close and competitive. But I'm leaning towards the Lions here because I think the Lions are the better team. They got the better quarterback, better coaching staff, better defense overall. And I think, their defense can stop the run really good. They can rush Kyler and all that. So, yeah, I think they can do that. And, I think they can do a good job, like running the ball through play action. And I think, with the Lions defense, I think they're really good, at blitzing Kyler Murray. I think their secondary is good enough to do that. And they pretty much have, the personnel to do that. They have, I think the Lions can run the ball in the Cardinals, given that the Cardinals defense is the least talented. Um, they have lots of weapons on offense that can really attack them. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta are just too tough to cover. So I think the Lions, win that game. So yeah. Um, week 4 against against Commanders. I think Cardinals are gonna win this game just because they're at home and Jaden Daniels playing against where his old school is. I have a feeling that the Cardinals offense is just gonna be too much for the Commanders second defense to handle, even though they got good edge rusher where they can rush Kyler. And their secondary is not good. So maybe Marv Harrison Jr. can have a good game. Maybe Trey McBride can. And I think they can control the game on offense and all that. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Washington won, but I think Arizona is going to get the victory. Next game against the 49ers in San Francisco. And they got to play them in week 18. I think they lose both games against the Niners. Um, I got them losing to the Niners at home because I am losing to the Niners on the road because the Niners are the better team, better quarterback, better coach that they're at home. I mean, yeah, they pretty much own Arizona. So yeah, week 6 against the Packers, I think they lose to Green Bay. Green Bay's at the overall better team, better quarterback, better coaching staff. They're at home. Green Bay's a pretty good team. They got a good running game right now. They got Josh Jacobs now. I think they're going to run the ball really well, and they got a lot of weapons on offense that are very young and are really good, and they can attack the Cardinals secondary. And I feel like Jordan Love can take advantage of that. Their defense is pretty good, but it's kind of up and down. Like they have a good defensive line, they have a great secondary. I think their secondary can do a good job. Like covering the Cardinals receivers. Maybe Jair can do a good job. Covering Marvin Harrison Jr., Xavier McKinney on Trey McBride. That'll be a good matchup. And then the defense is just overall better. I think they'll do a good job stopping the Cards' running game and getting after Kyler. So I think Green Bay wins that game. Uh, Week 7 against the Los Angeles Chargers. This is another game I think the Chargers can win, but I'm gonna say, I think that's a game the Chargers can win. I think they're a better team. They have a better coaching staff and a better quarterback. But it's on a Monday night in Arizona. I'm gonna take the Cardinals as the upset. I think the Cardinals can do a good job, on offense, like controlling the game. and controlling time possession, keeping Justin Herbert on the sidelines. And on top of that, the Cardinals just have more weapons on offense that can really throw on the Chargers and run on them, because the Chargers are weak against the run at times and they're weak against the pass at times. So yeah, maybe the Chargers defense can give the Cardinals offense some issues, but yeah, it can happen. But I think they can keep it close this time. But I believe last time when these two teams played from 2 years ago, I believe the Chargers did beat the Cardinals on the road. They only won by 1 point. I think it's going to be close this time. I think Kyler Murray can have a good game here. He can make some magic happen. And on top of that, the Chargers don't really have a lot of weapons that really scare the Cardinals. And even though Justin Herbert doesn't have a lot of weapons, he can definitely take advantage of that. So I think this can definitely be an offensive game, but I like the Cardinals here in a shootout. Week 8 against the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, this will be a fun game to watch, but I got the Dolphins win this game because the Dolphins overall got a better roster, better quarterback, better coaching staff. They're at home. I feel like, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, OBJ, those guys are just going to be too much for the Cardinals secondary to handle. The running game with Marine Morris and Devon Achane will just be too much for the Cardinals defense. So I think the Dolphins are just going to move the ball on the Cardinals, especially the Dolphins defense is a lot better than the Cardinals, but even though it's not great, now I don't know if their pass rushers are going to be edge rushers are going to be able to come back from injury, which if they're not playing their game, maybe that will allow the Cardinals to move the ball. And their secondary is pretty good, which I think they can at least cover the Cardinals pass catchers. So yeah, I think the Dolphins win that game at home. Then week 9 against the Chicago Bears. This is a tricky game, but I have a feeling that's a game I think the Bears can win. The Bears have a promising quarterback in Caleb Williams. They have lots of good weapons on offense that they can really give the Cardinals defense problems, like Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift in the backfield, Romo Duze. That's a lot of good weapons, which I think the Bears can definitely have success moving the ball on. Their offensive line is strong. Their pass rush isn't great outside of Montez Sweat, but their secondary is really good and their linebackers are good. I feel like that's a game the Bears can win, but I'm going to take the Cardinals as an upset because I think the Cardinals offensively can do a good job controlling the game, keeping Caleb off the field and all that. And I think they can have success running the ball on the Bears. And I think their O-line can block the Bears. So yeah, I think the Cardinals win that game at home. So yeah, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Bears won. I feel like the Bears are a better team from a talent standpoint, but I think the Cardinals will pull it off. Week 10 against the New York Jets. Obviously, I got the Jets win this game because the Jets got a better quarterback. They got they're the more complete team overall, and the Jets got a better defense. I don't think the Cardinals defense is good enough to at least contain Aaron Rodgers. I don't think they're gonna have an answer for Garrett Wilson or Mike Williams or Breece Hall. I think those guys will have a good game. I think the Jets are gonna run the ball really well to run all over the Cardinals defense. Rodgers is gonna be too much for the Cardinals defense to handle. He can do enough to at least throw the ball through the air against their secondary, and Garrett Wilson will be a problem. And they pretty much have a talented defense that can really get after Kyler. They can stop the run. And their secondary is pretty talented, which I think they'll find a way to cover the Cardinals, receivers and all that. I feel like Sauce will be a good matchup for Marvin Harrison Jr. So yeah, that's a matchup to see. So I think the Jets win that game. Then they get a bye week 11. Then week 12, they got to play against the Seahawks. In week 13 and week 14. That's every other week. I got the Cardinals splitting with the Seahawks. So I got them losing to the Seahawks the first game, and I got them beating the Cardinals the second game because I feel like the Cardinals do play the Seahawks pretty tough. So yeah, especially I feel like the Seahawks are going to have more to play for because they have a chance at the playoffs, and the Cardinals might be playing for next year because I don't think Arizona will be a playoff team. And Seattle, is a better team overall and has a better quarterback. and they're at home. And I know they got a new coaching staff, and pretty much Seattle has owned them. I mean, they're a pretty good team. They got some good weapons on offense, a good offensive line, a good run game, a great defensive scheme, especially a good defensive line against secondary. So I think that's going to be too much for the Cardinals. So I think the Seahawks win that game. Um, Week 13 against the Minnesota Vikings. This is a game the Cardinals can win, but I like the Vikings because the Vikings are at home. They got the and I feel like they have a better defensive scheme. I think their defense is a lot better than the Cardinals, where I think Brian Flores can do a good job blitzing Kyler and get him uncomfortable in the pocket. The Vikings got some players on defense that can give the Cardinals a lot of problems. And, the Vikings got some weapons on offense like Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison that can really attack the Cardinals. Like, I don't think the Cardinals have the corners. They don't have the cover guys to cover the Vikings receiving core. And they got Aaron Jones in the backfield, which I think the Vikings will run the ball on them. And no matter who the core for Minnesota is, I think Minnesota will win because they're at home. I feel like they're a better team. And, Minnesota is just a tough place to play at, especially in the Dome. So, yeah. Week 15 against the Patriots. This is a game that the Cardinals can win because I think the Cardinals' offense could be more explosive than the Patriots. But I'm actually going to go with the Patriots here because I think the Patriots got the better defense overall. And I think they'll do a good job, like rushing Kyler, getting after Kyler. They pretty much got a good secondary that can really man up against the Cardinals' receiving core. They got some weapons on offense. They got a good run game, which I think they can run the ball on the Cardinals. So yeah. So yeah, so I think the Patrons offensively can move the ball on the Cardinals. So yeah. And their offensive line's okay, but not great. I feel like Drake May will be playing this game. I think he can have an amazing game. And I feel like he can definitely take advantage of a Cardinals defense is not good. So yeah, I like the Patrons in that game. Week 16 against the Panthers. This is a game that can go either way. Both got good weapons on offense, but both their defenses are sketchy. But I could say the Cardinals can win because Kyler could be better than Bryce Young. But I'm gonna go with the Panthers here because I just think the Panthers, have improved their offensive line, their receiving core, and I feel like know that Deontay Johnson, Xavier get Adam Thielen. I think the Panthers' weapons on offense is the difference maker in this game. And I think it's going to be too much for the Cardinals' defense to handle. And I think Bryce Young is going to take advantage of that. I think the new improved offensive line will do enough to protect Bryce Young. I think they're going to run the ball. I think they'll be able to run the ball in the Cardinals. But I think the Panthers kind of have a better defensive scheme. And I think their defense is going to be coordinated, which I think they'll find a way to confuse Kyler. So, yeah. I think the Panthers will win that game. Week 17 against the Los Angeles Rams on a Saturday. I got them splitting with the Rams, so I give the Rams a loss here. I get the Cardinals a loss here because it's in LA, where it's a tough place to play at. Rams going to have more to play for because they're going to be a team that's going to make the playoffs this year. And the Cardinals are not. They're going to be playing for nothing. So, yeah. And the Rams are a better team, better core, a better coaching staff. They're at home in this game, so yeah. And then last game, week 18, against the Niners, I got them getting swept by the Niners. Because the Niners are just the best team in the NFL. In the NFC, better quarterback, better coaching staff. They're a more complete team. Like, they're going to have more to play for because they're going to be a team to make the playoffs and all that. So, yeah. So, basically, right now, I have the Cardinals at 5-12, which that's kind of better than last year, but I forgot what their record was. Like, I gotta have to look because I'm not really good at paying attention to stuff. But I think the Cardinals, I think I had them at least like 4 wins, I believe, which I think 5 is better than 4. So yeah. So I got the Cardinals at 5-12. So when you look at the Cardinals, I think the Cardinals can go somewhere. I can see them winning 6 games. Everything goes right, but I feel like 5-12 is about right. But when you look at the teams that are scheduled, the Cardinals have to play is really tough because they have to play a very good competitive division, the AFC East, which is the Bills, the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Patriots. They have to play the Niners twice, the Rams twice, and the Seahawks twice. And I have them splitting with all those teams. I have them beating them once in all these teams. Uh, they got to play the Packers. They got to play an improved Jets team. So yeah, a very different. That's a hard schedule. So I could see the Cardinals at least winning at least from like 4 to 7 wins this year. But I feel like 8 can be their ceiling if everything goes right and Kyler starts to break out and get back to where he was. So yeah, but I think that, like I've been saying this many times, like I still think the defense is lousy, especially, they don't have they got some young players on there that are really that who are good but not great. Like their secondary isn't special anything good. Their defensive line isn't good. Their linebackers is not good. Offensive line is pretty good and it did improve. Now the receiving core is pretty much okay, so I feel like the offense will be okay, especially with the improvement of Marvin Harrison Jr. Trey McBride is still a stud. Like they got multiple weapons on offense though, and I still got questions about the coaching on the coaching scheme like of Jonathan Gannon. Like could he like be? Can he like keep the Cardinals competitive? Like that's a question. Like I don't know. Like we're gonna have to find out. So I feel like 5-12 sounds. I feel like they'll go from like 4 to 7 wins sounds about right for the Cardinals. I just have them last in the division because I feel like they just got. I feel like the Cardinals defense is just a weakens in their division, especially in football. So yeah, 5-12 is what I have for the Cardinals. So you let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. It's Mail Jones, we're a big fan. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to put the thumbs up to like the video, and also subscribe to my channel and to see all my NFL 32 teams record predictions for the 2024 NFL season. It was fun doing NFL predictions with y'all. So yeah, it's your boy Man Jones, a big fan. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later in the next video. Peace.